One and all, I'm not sure he can even begin to believe that he won that last game. Welcome back to the channel for game number 2 between Wham and Beastie. We have got a lead for the Canadian. But then he follows it up by picking Ottomans. What is going through his head here? What is the thought process? We're going to look to dive deep into this and discover it all. Because we are on Anatolian hills of all maps. Order of the Dragon was usually Wham's go-to, but both him and Beastie prioritized it as a ban. I think this was the main reason why, this map here. And also, the fact that Beastie wanted Jeanne on this particular map. Jeanne versus Ottomans is an interesting matchup, by the way. Before Pro Scouts meta, Otto looked pretty good for these fast castle builds because Jeanne couldn't dive them. Times be changing, and even more so when you consider it on Anatolian, where the majority of food has to be reached via transport. You can't be safe underneath your TC, meaning that Wham can't hide away from Jeanne. And that's a key detail because with that aggressive economy mindset, the idea that you can't easily keep your villagers safe if you want to get value out of them, Jeanne has been an incredibly powerful pick. I would say Jeanne is top 3 most picked Civ on Anatolian. Probably top 2 easily now, actually. Knowing this, you've got to start wondering, was this a Civ throwaway by Wham? Or is there something with clarity in mind? He did gather the stone to start off with, so presumably he's looking to drop the military school on the other side. This already feels a little bit off because of that, because remember, you want to drop the military school quickly so you generate more free units sooner. But by waiting like this, and yeah, it is going to be the military school, you hurt your timing. Why did he do this? Remember, if you build the military school here, you're going to have to keep transporting the units across or sending them into the main, when most of the economy is going to be over here. And this also just guarantees he has Spearmen to potentially shove the second deer in with. In fact, you can see what the intent from Wham is. He walked out here, he found the location with the deer built next to it. So he's going to look to block any Pro Scout shenanigans from Beastie if he feels inclined. But also he's going to be able to shove the deer in with the 3 spears and get additional food income safely. Problem is, did he get enough sheep? Overall, not bad actually. 17 sheep to 16. There is another interesting thought behind the Ottoman pick on this map, folks. You have no way of getting the sheep home unless you go for Pro Scouts. Okay, wait, KP, how does that benefit the Ottomans? The Ottomans have a button which gives them 10 sheep. Oh. Huh. That's a pretty neat detail. Why is that important? On this map, we've seen how pressure on the food source on the mainland can kind of kill your progression. It can stunt your timing and give an edge. If that ever happens, Wham has a get out of jail free card where he can reallocate villages here to kind of safety net. Waste of Vizier points? Interesting you say that, physics guy, considering that statistically, at the highest level, Anatolian Hills is still the most used Vizier point by far. But I just want to get it on record. Are we saying that all the top pros are wrong? It's possible, considering Ottomans don't win very often. But no, Anatolian has been a good bread and butter. It's not just 10 sheep you get, remember. You also get the 10% gathering speed buff on your mining camps. So, Minaret Madrasa coming in, School Cavalry on the other side. How did we do on predictions? 53% for Wham. Did I just read that correctly? Wait, was that correct or was that game 1? Wait, I thought we'd done the payout on game 1. We did. Yeah, sorry. I keep forgetting to update. That was game 2. So, still, 53% for Wham for G2. He convinced people with that first game, I'm telling you. So, Skull Cavalry is going to be coming in from Beastie. Jeanne, I don't think she'll quite get level 2 rather off of this. So, probably a little bit of clubbing to be done afterwards. It's always deceptive because like the shoreline fish interaction. Another thing that was really cool about this opening from the Ottomans, by the way, remember, the Ottos only spend 100 wood on docks instead of 150, so he was able to be a bit quicker than other civs would be on getting out. It was why he was able to justify moving for the early stone as well. So, tech out complete. He's going to rush up the mill. Ah, yes. You see why, right? The reason why he rushed the mill here is he didn't want to risk losing any of the sheep. I mean, the Skull Cavalry should have protected anyway, but you'd think he'd only want to use Jeanne on the mill. That way he would guarantee more XP for her. Best of Infinity? Dude, should we do one of those? I can't remember, like, how many was it that Nearly done? I remember Nearly had, like, a best of 129 or something against another guy. Like, every time he'd come live for, like, a month, they were just playing each other. It's quite interesting, actually. Have we banned John from making and cancelling buildings? I believe that's in, like, a generic rule pool, rather, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a few things that are in those. The way that my understanding is, and I have to double check the most recent rule books. I don't think it's actually written under the rules that you can't, but it's almost more, oh god, I can't believe they have these, but I can't stop players from doing it if they want to do it themselves. Gentlemen's agreements. There's a few other mechanics that kind of like fall underneath that category. Okay, so first night is on the way. Outpost is coming up. So far, we've got 3 Spearmen here. This should be more than enough to hold. The problem is going to be melee Jeanne. This is the difficult point in the game. Sipahi reaction is pretty cool, though. And I wonder if Wham considers the Vizier point down the line. Yeah. Healing's super effective against Jeanne. It's actually the absolute cure, right? The anti-poison to her toxicity. She can't get XP if she can't get kills. So keep an eye out for that, because Beastie, with Sipahi coming, will not want to go ranged. He'll want to go mass knights. Maybe even spears. But that's going to keep him to melee, and that means that the imams can be the MVP. And yes, I've heard of that AoE2 game that lasted over 100 hours. I think it topped out, it was 142 or 182. It was very long. It's funny as well, because, like, technically, why didn't they just... I don't want to say you could rig it to get that type of outcome, but you technically could. To force... Because once you get past, like, a certain number of hours, it's obvious that you're going to stalemate that way. So you could just... You could make a meta around that being your content. Both of those channels saw big bumps in viewership temporarily because of it. So demo was a bit of a whiff there, but there was one on each side. So, like, overall, no clear edge. Wham, is he rushing Castle Age? Okay, I'm glad he's reinvesting. This is crazy. You're up against Jeanne, and your economy is out in the middle of no man's land. Like, rushing Castle is very, very dangerous. Does get eyeballs on, so you can see the triple knights. And melee Jeanne is now revealed, so knows that detail. Outposts. He's got 5 villages out here. The Spearman maybe forfeit, though. Wow, a little bit slow on the reaction. Does get them in just in time, though. Melee Jeanne should be the target fire. Remember, she has 2 ranged armor, so 1 outpost doesn't kill her that quickly. Spearman will get mopped up. He didn't complete the racks. It's at... You gotta be kidding me. 99.99% basically. He's 6 HP missing on that racks. Needs to tap the hammer. Looks like Beastie is gonna back away and show the respect. So we'll be able to get it up. But that's painful. Remember, those were Dark Age Spearmen, hence why they got completely eviscerated. Divine Restoration did have to be used. Some amount of time achieved. No worker kills is the key detail here, though. Wham is still trekking towards that Castle Age timing. And the first Sipahi just came out. Look at this. He's actually going to go on the offensive. A little bit difficult. I think if Wham had won the water battle, it would have made sense. But look at Beastie. It's 3 Springle chips. He's going to look to cut Wham off from the homeland. Which is crazy because he's going to, what, build the... Yeah, he's going to build the Memoed Imperial Armory here. Presumably. And if he doesn't... If you're stuck on this starting island, there's no way you want to build a landmark over here with just 5 villages. So he has to get more out either way, but until he deals with the Jeanne threat here, you can't risk bringing more villages out. And because he's going Castle Age, he doesn't actually have the army to protect those new villages getting out. This is awkward. Strong ships are now going to start moving in. We do have the Arislets. Yeah, there's a tech I always forget about. Imperial Fleet. This is the production speed of gunpowder ships and the movement speed. Yeah, but we're not going to see Imperial Age. Dive coming in. Villagers once again safe. He tried to get a second outpost. Unfortunately, too little too late. That's more XP for Jeanne. On water side, it looks like the Naval Arislets does at least protect as according to plan. It's too greedy from Wham. I'm inclined to agree, but I kind of see where he's coming from. You know, the idea that Imam points here would have been sick, like we talked about, but the negative element is because BC leaned into sprinkle chips. Jeanne is very interesting on water hybrid maps like this. Or to put it more simply, river maps like this. River maps is where Jeanne actually can be very viable because she's able to be close to the fight and get XP. On a map like Holy Island, she can't do that because the fight can be away from the coast, out of XP range. But here, there's not enough width to deny her XP. Same with maps like Canals. So, like, conceptually, like, what BC had in mind here in Wham's reaction, I think Wham's correct in what he's doing. And he's even now going to get it. Mehmed Imperial Armory is on the way. Interesting thought here. What if he just queues up Springald straight away? Because Springalds deal with the boats. In fact, we saw recently on this particular map, Springalds with the new penetration shot are OP against boats. If you hate water, Springalds are your best friend. Because they can penetrate and hit 3 or 4 boats, especially hulks that have very big hitboxes. And reminder, they do about 75 to 80 damage total per shot to a 450 HP unit. Demo is now on the way. It looks like Beastie. He's going to... Oh, no, you cheeky son of a gun. He gets rid of the dog perfectly. And it's going to be an invasion, a naval invasion. Knights now diving into the base. Wham will pull away. The blood is being drawn here. And Jeanne, if she just goes north side, she'll get a lot of XP. Instead, it's the dive because he wants the cleave. He sees the tech up. Wham! Damage being spread out. There should be a cleave coming off cooldown. Not being used just yet by Beastie. He has actually got 4 charges, just fails to use it. So Wham gets the tech up. Somehow only loses 4 villages for that, but he is now stuck on the starting island. And you bet your damn ass off it's going to be that Anatolian Hills point. He pulls it, he has to here. He's already eaten through most of it by the looks of it. This is bad. This is really bad. We talked about the Anatolian Hill concept for the bait and switch, and it's clear that that was what he had in mind, but the negative of Wham's play here, because he wanted the extra food, he set up the racks, he set up double outposts, he set up the military school, staples. Every single building that could protect him from a dive-in is in the wrong place here. This is crazy. And a Mangonel now queued up that's going to feel completely irrelevant if it ever gets out, unless he can get rid of these knights. Because there's no racks, because there's no wood, there is no answer. He could go on the south tree line. In fact, really needs to here. Got much troops moving out, but we already have the guild hall on the way up from Beastie. So he has that scalability if this does go later on. And right now, he just has full control. We have got lancers coming out to try and answer. Gotta be careful not to trickle these. There's a lot of heavily injured knights, but it's 3 versus 1, essentially. And not just that, remember, the warcogs can assist, so you can't go near the coast. I'll tell you what. If Wham finds his way out of this, I don't care how much love he has for magic. He's the magician now. Because this looks over, bar a miracle. 99% it feels like. I mean, how can Wham make it better? In theory, he can go for the moss drop and pick up relics now. That'll inflate his economy. He has got lancers coming, which need to be answered, but there's already knight spearmen from Beastie, so appropriate reactions. Has got the consecration as well to make it more efficient. Just feels like Beastie has ticked all the boxes, right? Hasn't really left a gap for Wham to swing for himself. This map is so hard to play. I like that, though. I don't know. I don't think... What do you think at this point? 1, if you think this is a meme map. 2, if you think this is a competitively viable map. I'm curious what a viewer's POV is now. 1 or 2 players have voiced their concerns it's a meme map. But I think there's some that have also said they're big fans. Like, there are people who are willingly drafting this still. I think calling it a gimmick map is very disingenuous. A gimmick is like, oh, you'd have to, like, just outpost this. I think it fundamentally changes the normal dynamics of an early game in AoE 4. In a big way. Because you have to wear your economy in a dangerous way. That's very unique. Wait, do we have confirmation? Marine said he's going to play KPMM next time? What up? Okay, so there's more reasons for people to tune in after the Garrison. So remember, we're going to have a week off. But KPMM 17 will return mid-March. And apparently, Chad Lord M Lord is going to join them. That's exciting. I told you, man, they're all going to start coming around. These things are fun. I think they're great for the scene overall. I think everyone involved actually benefits a lot from them. I like that as well, because the other thing that's important to me is professionalism when it comes to scheduling and organization. And Marine Lord is a player that always has taken that seriously. So, a very welcome addition. Well, looks like there is a night dive attempt. Walls are up. Oh no, he's got Spimmin Arbaletier. Wham. I like this idea of Janissary. Arbaletier don't actually hard counter Janissary anymore, because remember, Jannies take bonus damage from archers. So, I wouldn't say Wham is dead yet. He's actually kind of brought the percentile down a little. It's still pretty grim, but I'd say like we're at like 5-10% now. It is a challenge for the food, though. And he still hasn't brought more villagers over here. I'm just surprised he hasn't died yet. We even have outposts now trying to creep up here. He's going to get denied. Another villager bit's picked off. Also, remember, this siege that's coming out, really slow. He hasn't got a blacksmith here. Never built one. Yeah, it feels like a rough base layout, right? Like, probably would have been better for Wham if he built the stable here. And that would have then justified him to drop a blacksmith here to buff 2 buildings. Oh, you said he'll play if he's fit and healthy? Of course. I mean, the ankle injuries is stopping him. Apparently, he's still walking with a limp, which I found shocking. I don't like to make it about the challenges of who had a bigger break, but I broke the most complicated bone in my ankle, and I'm walking. Oh god, I just realized I'm doing a lot of jobs in Hamburg next week. I'm probably going to have to run around a lot. I don't know if I can run. Well, I might be spending some time in a German hospital. We'll find out. Let's see if Wham can put Beastie in the hospital. The Janissaries are coming from the other side now. So the boats are going to get cleared up. That's going to open the way for Wham to move more economy out onto the mainland if he chooses. So another interesting part about this pick from Wham and the Ottomans, the logic here is like, if food is eventually very hard to access, you don't get punished as much because of this. He's generating units with the military schools. Look at the military count here, man. This is crazy. I mean, Sacred Site timer is ticking, but unless BC wants to commit to stone and build keeps, I don't think it's exactly locked in here. BC. People saying he's waiting for the decisive battle. Let's see if this is going to be it. Knights are going to dive in. Janissaries have to stand their ground, but Jeanne, she levels up just in time to cost more to buy back. That is not good. The Janissaries, remember, do counter Jeanne as well when Chico is level 3. Meanwhile, looks like he has denied any boat assistance, so Beastie pushed back beyond the threshold. He has found additional worker kills, and still more to come, though. The Knights rotating around the back. Janny reaction will push him away. Meanwhile, on the mainland, a small army's moved in. BC does not have... Wait, pause that fort, does he? No siege engineering. So no ram shenanigans here. An army good enough, actually, that Wham can defend himself on both fronts. More villagers did go down for this. He's actually using them as front line. The crazy thing still, guys, did you notice how this battle over here began? Wham frontlined with villagers against Cleve Jeanne. She got level 3, died before she could even wipe them with the cleaves. This is crazy. It's a 13 village lead for Beastie, but do remember that Wham has got extra economy already being converted to military, i.e. the military schools. But what would we say? Like 120 resources a minute maybe seems reasonable at this stage. So he's got like, what, 600 resources? Let's say he's got about an extra 12 to 15 villages worth at this stage. It's not really that far behind. Beastie is a little bit better off because he still has things like consecration buffs. But I would not write Wham off in this game. Not even close. I'm impressed. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of reflecting. When I said it looked like a 99% over, was I overstating Beastie's position? Maybe slightly, but I still feel like he was 80-90% in that position. It was hard to see the way that Wham was going to get back in. But this? This is incredible, man. He's marching out for both the sacred sites here. After the fights Beastie took, he can't actually afford to defend both. In fact, I don't think he can afford to defend one. Timer paused. 5.5 minutes away from a win. And Jeanne a long way away from level 4. Even further away still. Oh my god. It's crazy. On a standard map in the Pro Scouts meta, you don't get to see this part of the Ottomans in the Jeanne matchup. They die before they get there. But you're seeing where they can look good if they can get Janissary scaling. They look impenetrable. Men-at-Arms isn't going to feel great either. Jannies are fairly high base damage, and also this crossbowman in. Wham has built pretty much an entire ranged army here against melee Jeanne. How does she even get to them? A question that we have no answer for. Teleport? Maybe we need Jeanne Shinobi form? Guys, I'm calling it. Hanzo Hattori. Hero Japanese Civ added to game. Soon. And this is worrisome as well. These are consecrated buildings. You really don't want to lose these. The discount is invaluable here in a game where BC needs to somehow catch up. Start step back. Mangoes might be slightly overextended. In the meantime, it looks like actually the cavalry tried to raid in the flank. Mango Warps are doing well. And the Janissaries... No, the villagers! He's going in for the cleave. Target fire wasn't on Jeanne, but now can turn back towards the villager force. BC throwing away a lot for this. That's pretty much the whole economy lead that he built. The Janissaries, there's still enough of them to keep Jeanne away. We'll hide behind the tree line. I'm helping, I swear, I'm part of this. The Mangoes may actually just win this in the end, so BC has to dive right on top of them. Janny's just keep getting baited. Okay, credit to Beastie for min-maxing this. Wasting as much time as possible. But now for the full discredit. Full eco lead is gone. Relics are still 1 apiece at this rate. There is 5 relics on this map. There is 0 Jeannes. Oh, this is wild. This may be the best looking Janissary game I've seen in the last year. Why do you not repair the Jannies? Because the Mangonels aren't as important as the Janissaries. The Janissaries are everything. They can beat the Arbitrator, they can beat the Men-at-Arms, they can beat Jeanne. The Mangoes cannot. Mangoes are not that valuable at this point in the game. And that is crazy. This is the all-in strat. Did you just see what Wham got? It's Great Bombard time. Oh, this is freaking incredible. Great Bombard against Arbitraire. Reminder that, you know, Great Bombards sometimes feel a little bit oof for their damage values at the moment. But the thing you have to keep in mind is, like, Great Bombard hits into Arbitraire. That's not a very tanky unit. They have 80 HP. Also, Great Bombard is pretty good at dealing with Jeanne because it's pure damage. You can't reduce it with ranged armor. And actually, like, one more about 80 HP. Yeah, he'll just one-hit them, right? But the point is the AoE damage around it is like half value, right? So if you're doing 55 plus 120, you're still just going to kill any other Arbitraire nearby. This is wild. Wham went from looking dead as hell to being the lead. Yeah, no. Let's get this fully correct. He went from looking dead as hell to being in the lead with what's considered to be one of the worst civs in Age of Empires 4. But those are the important details to remember here. Ottomans is in practically everyone's tier list of bottom 3. And after Beastie's most recent tier list, a lot of people putting Jeanne in the top 5 at least. Jeanne should be nerfed in Castle Age. If you nerf them in Castle Age, you need to buff them in Imperial Age. I can't believe people like Janissaries need to be nerfed. When do you see Ottomans get to this stage? Like, this is the thing. If you want to nerf Janissaries in Castle, you're going to have to buff them in Imperial, and you're also going to have to buff the Civ in general in Feudal. That's your trade-off. Do you want that? Because that's where you're going to have to be reasonable here. Like, Ottomans barely ever seem to survive Feudal Age. Especially in a Pro Scouts meta, which they can't play. And here comes the clash. It's going to be attack speed. Great Bombard. Lining up an extra shot here. It's not shooting yet, though. Okay. Goes off the Arbitraire in the end. The Janissaries. Hold on. Beastie. He might be able to get the big kill here. Wham, he's not pulling it away. The Great Bombard's low on HP is gone. 125 XP. And a one-time play there for Wham. Oh my god, the lack of melee. Yeah, look, they were on the front. On the flank, rather, the Sipahi weren't in the engagement. Not that they would have existed long against mass spearmen. Beastie all of a sudden breathes himself back to life here. And we have Wham now switching over to archers. Man, this is crazy. I'm kind of surprised Wham still hasn't actually toggled to Springald's, guys. Springald's is MVP now against the spearmen, even the arbitrier. Much better than Mango's here. With the size of these fights, Springald's could be spreading the 18 base or 28 with bonus across 5 or 6 different targets at once. And now, somehow, someway, Beastie has found the way to the red pass. Unfortunately for him, the Sipahi have seen it. So he may have to slow this down a bit. He wants on the north side, not the south, remember. He needs the gold. But this is crazy. We forgot that Guildhall's been sitting in the corner. That's why Wham was so urgent to try and end this game. He had to know it was what he was up against, considering he's not seen Night Spam. And an Arbitrator didn't have an increased attack speed. That tells him that it wasn't Royal Institute. The swinging in this game is exactly what I watch Age of Empires for. Like, can we just nod our heads in agreement? It's boring when you have those games where it's like, it's cool for 5 minutes, and then it's 10 minutes of being the obvious winner. This ain't one of those. This one is wildly all over the place, and it's exactly the type of games that I wish we got in AoE for all the time. Where's Wham getting the food? Madrissa is part of it. The other part of it is like berry batches, which are starting to run out. He's going to have to move to more pocketed resources on the forward. He did set up one farm cluster, but remember, outside that, a lot of this production, military schools. Beastie suicide Jeanne like 4 times this game. Yeah, I think he just hates French people. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like, Jeanne... Range Jeanne probably would have worked better here in a standard Otto game, but because of the map, I think that's why Beastie chose melee. As we saw in the early game, like the potential to go in, cleave, and just end the game straight away is immense when you put someone's villagers away from their main base. And there is one shoreline fish on this map. So where you place your dock, there'll be one shoreline to start. So you're kind of encouraged to come out here and set up the dock early anyway, to then go and scout for the sheep. So you can then just gather the fishing. I like that small detail, by the way. Big shout out to Kaju and the team and Sockton and whatnot for that. Because what that means is, like, the punishment of having to build a dock is stripped away a little bit, because then you've got 500 food to gather on a gathering rate that is 33% better than sheep. Spy. Pricey losses considering Wham does not have a front line. He's starting to save up for his own Imperial timing here. And this should very obviously be Istanbul Observatory. There's not really that much value in Seagate Castle. No, there's no way he'd trade here. The only reason I'd expect Seagate Castle is if he feels like he's going to die. And yes, I just explained what the villager gathering rate is on shoreline fish. It's 1. And sheep is 0.75. The question is, how quickly can a villager gather from deep water fish? Huh? Oh, okay, sorry, that's what you're saying. Well, there's only one problem with that. For them to discover that, they'd have to drown. So they wouldn't be able to report back. There we go. Istanbul Observatory coming in. It is going to be on the mainland. Beastie, scary army, but he's a little bit worried about these mangoes. Quadra Mango and a choke point fight could just immediately lose you like 20 arbitrary. Sacred sites are locked in again for Beastie. And I imagine he's considering, yeah, stone gathered, so we are going to get keep drops next. Tech up now complete. Janissary upgrades coming through. But I think one thing that's going to sting Wham permanently here is that investment into the Great Bombard Point, remember. Like, that's a no take backsies, right? You're stuck with that awkward element. What other things are there that could work here? We talked earlier about this tech we're never going to see Imperial Fleet. I don't think it's worth it here. The landmarks aren't all close enough to justify. If the Grand Galley could reach this TC, maybe you like make a sneak play there. Because remember, there's a tech called Imperial Fleet that increases the production speed and movement speed of your Grand Galleys. In theory, Grand Galleys can be cool because of their ability to produce units floating along. We just never ever see them. The reason they can be really cool on this map is if you can sneak up river, you can just normally drop here with units being produced in the building. Why is he not toggling into Springolds? I think Wham just doesn't trust Springolds as much as other players. Honestly, the moment that Beastie went Spears, Springolds just makes too much sense. So I am a little bit surprised by it. But the interesting thing here is that Springolds outperform Mangoes because in the big bulk fights, like it's much easier to hit with Springolds. Mangoes can be kind of dodged. But now that we are in Imperial, normally a Civ would look and go, oh wow, Mango's OP. Let me just get the adjustable crossbars. This Civ's weird though, because now they want Great Bombards. That tech doesn't sound valuable for over 2,000 resources. That's a problem. So Wham's now got all these Mangoes that are going to remain pretty irrelevant compared to the Ottomans. So BC, we do have the Royal Cannons now though. That is going to be a problem. Oh, sorry, not Royal, normal Cannons. It still takes 5 hits to kill a Great Bombard. So the count isn't quite there yet. But now, I thought I saw a hand cannon near for a moment. No, so we haven't got any HCs. That's good news for Wham. And that's good news to me. Thank you, Scobbit. Appreciate the Prime sub. Remember, guys, get those subs in. We're only at the beginning of this best of 7. A best of 7 that I feel like it could be worth its weight in gold. Jeanne de Blast activated, by the way. We did get level 4. This is big. If she lives. Oh, let's be real. She's very tanky. She's not going to die that easily. Nice break on the wall there. So Beastie does bail her out just in time before the Janissaries would have chowed down. Important as well, because Beastie doesn't actually have that much gold in reserve. Wouldn't have been capable of just buying her back. No, still has other upgrades he wants to try and get here. Like, for example, we don't actually have incendiary arrows yet for Beastie. He got crossbow stirrups, but did not get the university tech. In fact, I don't think Beastie even has a university. No. With 33 minutes in the game, still no uni. Very surprising. For Wham, he already has one. And you know what I said about it feeling worthless? He's going for it. Okay, 5 Mangoes is enough to convince him. We've got adjustable crossbars coming through. Still, it does feel a little bit awkward because you know you're never building another Mango here. Right? Like, Great Bombards just feel too good in the eyes of Ottoman players. Wow, now securing his 8k gold, but more importantly, taking it away from Beastie. The problem is Beastie has got more gold, remember. The guild hall is stockpiling. Cannons. Uh-oh. Wham! He backed off! What? He backed away! I can't believe that. Beastie just given a freebie there. Forces the cancel. Wham! Loses half of the stone. Man also does need an extra house. Yeah, it looks like he maybe forgot about one. There we go. Extra population coming out. This is tricky, though. Needs more Great Bombards to deal with this Red Palace. Let the target fire. BC's trying to get rid of the aura. Janissaries really become troublesome when they have this extra 15% attack speed. That's when they start to feel a little bit like Gatling guns to fight. Even snipes and siege are free. And this landmark will never not be toxic in my eyes. The Great Bombards can deal with it if they can get close enough for the 11 tower range. It just needs enough because the deploy time is very long in these things, so you want to be up to like 3 or 4 when you go in for the kill. We do have a keep down here on the south side, so it's multifaceted. The reason why Wham is leaning north side is, yes, A, the gold, But B is the fact there's also a keep down here. It's not like this is a free decap. Barely gets away with that mango. Janissaries can be pulled to repair that, by the way. Elite Army Tactics also now coming in for Beastie. He's ticking the boxes. Incendiary is still missing. But his front line is getting very tanky. It's going to be an extra, what, 20 HP per unit? Important against these Janissaries. Another Meta Snipe down. Not much of an aura left over here. Great Bombard is starting to siege in. So Wham begins to commit. More Sipahi coming in to replace the Janissaries. But it's a lot of spinman from Beastie. And with Elite Army Tactics, it means the Sipahi die fast. Jeanne de Blast is going to absorb a lot of fire here. And there we go. Valorous Inspiration gets activated. It's Gatling Gun mode for all. And it's chow down time for the Jeanne Imperial Army. Pulls it back just at the end there as the spearman line begins to thin. Also just to protect against the flanking Sipahi. The cannons continue the push. The outcome looks undeniable here. 2 minutes away and a locked-in win. Beastie able to strike back after Wham looked like he had recovered one of the greatest comebacks. Beastie then goes on to deny him and reminds us that this set is long from finished and full of epic moments still to come. I'll see you in the next one.